So, today we have a lot to talk about. Hello. I love how the ogre puppet actually does kind of look like the image that you have up there.
Yeah, that's what we were working. That's what we were trying to go for as close as we could. There's only so much you could do with a sock, but it's close.
So, yeah, like both me and Opinionated Ogre, we're very heated right now about the GOP, but we're also kind of really both enjoying watching them fall apart.
Well, that's always fun. Thank you, Patty.
Mhm. Yeah, so lately there's like so much stuff in the news that's just making me realize that they're having a total Ouroboros moment. Um, a lot of it deals with Elon Musk, and I kind of like watching Elon Musk because it's like watching a wildlife show, except like the animal is on drugs, and it's not me for once.
Oh my God, watching him in the White House, just the whole. Uh, uh,
Like,
it's like, oh my God, what is? Oh, it's like, wow, that was something. It's like, dude, you're going to the Oval Office and you couldn't lay off the drugs long enough to go to the Oval Office. Are you kidding me?
like here's the most amazing thing about this. Now, my readers know if you're not one of my regular readers. Hi, my name is Ossiana. My husband is a DJ, and I've been in the nightlife industry for the better part of about 20 years. And I'm pretty much like one of those people who in the past, like if I peed in a cup, the cup would light itself on fire with a white flag coming out of it, okay? What's what's amazing about this, truly amazing for me at least, is that I had exes who have several $1,000 ketamine habits, and I'm talking like 2 grand a month.
Woo!
And they are more sober than the person in the White House.
Jesus. Well, I mean, when you
Okay?
have unlimited money, so what are you gonna
It's
do?
like it's like unlimited money. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of ketamine in my days. And like I'm just waiting for the moment that I'm gonna hear him get so zooted that he lets out one of like the groans that my exes does, where he's like, "Meh," and then he'll just go back to talking like normal. I'm waiting for it. I will live for that moment.
Yeah, it was really weird when I found out that that's like a big thing in Silicon Valley is that they all get zooted up on ketamine. It's just like what, 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 what? That
Whoa.
what?
So I've worked around tech bros a lot in my life, primarily when I worked in the adult film industry. I don't know why, but tech bros, they keep trying to budge their way into the adult film industry, and sometimes they do. AKA Mind Geek in Canada, they're very tech broy. But when
Huh.
American tech bros do it, it's like so sinister and so skeevy that I've never actually seen any of them get the time of day from porn stars. And no, like, I'm speaking as somebody who, like, they would recruit me, and this has happened with 2 platforms that I think one is dying right now, the other one completely failed, and they screwed me over on, that, but the tech bro there, they actually worked for Ditto Music. These guys, when I say that Silicon Valley is drug infested, I mean that they are drug infested. What you have there is, like, I wanna say Revenge of the Nerds, except, like, the whole like geek should stay chic thing, the nerds were never actually good people in Silicon
Right.
Valley. Like they're the people who instead of actually, taking their licks, building character and being like amazing people after the fact, they ended up being like the worst human beings possible with God trips. And
Ugh.
like there's so much misogyny, there's so much toxic masculinity in Silicon Valley. It's not even funny. I'm not surprised by the amount of drugs that Elon is on because he's kind of like the ultimate frat bro to them. And I think it's called the broligarchy now. Oh, I
Yeah.
said it.
I mean, I kind of wonder if, like, now that you're talking about it, I wonder if that's why they're so trying so hard to get into the adult film industry or just the adult industry. It's because they just feel entitled. to that whole area. It's just I mean, that whole area is just rife with misogyny to begin with. So they feel like, well, that's just where we should be. That's just a natural fit for us.
So it's interesting that you say that because as much as the adult film industry does have its misogynistic moments, I've always been one of those people who I've seen the bad side. And trust me, the bad side is freaking horrifying. It's like Diddy trials bad. But for the most part, all of the people who I've met who've been like long term in the porn industry are not misogynistic at all. Like when it comes to the tech part of it, yes, there's some misogyny there, but like it's not as bad as people paint it out to be. The real reason why they get that way, and this is just like from my casual observations, is that these are guys who, when they were, in high school and in middle school, they're told, oh, just work with computers, be good in math, and then you'll be able to get all the hot women that you want. I heard that message growing up as somebody who was basically raised like a boy, except was also being told to be a girl at the same time. I was a software engineering major back in the day. So they were telling me, yeah, you're gonna get a wonderful husband, and you'll be a babe, and it'll be great.
Oh
Technology was
boy.
so misogynistic. It was so horrible. Like if my daughter ever brings home a guy who works in software engineering, she and I are gonna have a very long talk. I'm going to escort that guy out of the house. Like that's how bad it is. I
I
will
mean, I
not
remember
even.
back in the day with booth babes. And that was, I mean, that was, I explained that to my daughter and she just looked at me like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, nope, that was a thing back in the day. I mean, it's not there
It's still a
really
thing now.
anymore. It's not so much anymore, but man, like back when E3 was a thing, booth babes. And she was like, that's fucking ridiculous. I'm like, that's how it was because it was all geared towards guys. So, like,
And those Yeah, and those same guys, they grew up, they got like the large bags of money, they got into the techno hype, but the women didn't come because they were awful people. And nobody
right.
told them you actually have to cultivate yourself and be a decent human being and not just like buy a dinner and sex comes out. Like the girl actually has to enjoy herself. And none of the guys ever
God forbid.
actually. So yeah, like God forbid a woman actually enjoys herself because like not for nothing, it's not really very sexy to have a guy who's sitting there like when I went on a date with one guy from my old software engineering department back before like when I was still a librarian and I was still trying to be a quote unquote good girl. I had one guy who literally like I was like, okay, let's hook up, and then he's like, we can hook up first, we'll have dinner later. Me being naive and also probably the most sexually promiscuous person on the planet at that point. I had sex with him, and then he immediately ushered me out. And like, this is a guy who he literally was crying to me about how alone he was, and I was like, so wait, you didn't actually want to, you didn't want to be alone. And, like after the sex, he bragged about himself to me. I was like,
Wow.
you didn't need to get laid. You need a fucking therapist. Jesus. And the funny thing is that like all the other tech bros and all the other like D&D playing LARP nerds who I wanted to be friends with, like they blamed me for that shit. I was like, dude, I was trying to do what I would have done if I was literally having somebody say that they're that lonely. Like I have a hard time dating because a lot of people they see me and they're like, "Oh, you're a sex dispenser. Look at how you're dressed." I'm like, it's not my fault that I was born with G cup breasts, okay? Like, I know I look like a blow up doll. I'm aware of that. But I actually have these things called feelings and a soul. I'm not sure if the other guys do, but I sure as hell do. And the
What?
funny thing
Women
is,
have emotions?
I know, right?
Wait,
Well,
what? Wait, did they make an app for that? Is that recent?
oh, it's a part of SexBot 4.0. It came with a 50% decreased nagging function, which means the girl will stop asking you to wipe your ass.
Oh God! Don't even make me. Oh God! That whole thing where guys don't wipe their ass because it's gay. Dude,
Yeah.
don't even. Ah,
So
uh.
So like at this college campus, they were blaming me. I was like, wait a minute, I thought that this guy was actually lonely, and I was trying to do him a favor, and now you're congratulating him for being a douchebag to me. I just kind of like looked at them. I was like, wow, you guys are psychopaths. I was like, and then like these same guys are wondering why they don't get laid and why like women aren't falling for their crying anymore. It's because they do shit like that. But the thing is that this stuff was happening for 10 years going. After a while, it's
He's
not just me saying, okay, this is what's going on. It's all the women because we all see it happening. We all see the same patterns. We talk. And after a while, we're like, yeah, oh, you work in tech? Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go. So these guys are left with stacks of money. They did all the gym bro stuff that they thought would get them girls. They still can't get girls to touch them with a 10-foot pole
they
unless
never
they
got the
pay them.
personality part.
They forgot the one part that would have actually worked all those years in a row. They forgot the personality part. They didn't even try to like get to know the girl at all. And that's why they're stuck having to try to like jam their way into porn. It's because literally that's the only way that they can get women to give them the time of day. It's because they cannot get laid otherwise.
Wow. I mean, there's a reason I have my daughter going to karate classes. She's been going for like since she was like what? Is it 13 now? She's been going since for the last 2 years, and the other one I'm trying to get her to go back because I don't want either one of them going to college without knowing how to snap somebody's arm.
See, I'm kind of lucky because due to my past, I have a very sketchy past. I had like I literally had at one point a sampler of every single date rape drug ever made, including some that are only recently common stateside, pumped into me. So now if
Yeet.
I actually have a date rape drug put in my drink, it doesn't work on me. Um,
I mean,
this is
I guess
funny
that's a
because
bonus.
it is a bonus because at one point I saw a guy slip something into my drink at a bar. I switched the drinks when he wasn't looking. And then I kept drinking. And then I ordered another one. He was just kind of like looking a little bit concerned. And he was like, okay, sure, you can have another drink. And then I ordered a bottle because I noticed that he was starting to fade out. So after he started slurring his words and pissed himself, I got up, I left. I told the help, yeah, he said he'd pay for all of this. Oh, by the way, he also said that I could get another bottle for my friends.
Did
And
you go
that's
for
how
the
he
top
ended
line
up.
stuff? Did you go for the top shelf?
Yeah, and that's how he ended up about 1,500 and like I remember it was like at least $200 worth of drinks, and I ordered two bottles. I'm not sure if the other bottle ever actually came, but he was at least out like 200, 300,
Nice.
400 drinks. Yeah, he was not happy. I'm sure when he woke up, wherever he woke up.
Oh,
So
boo hoo for him.
so that is a little bit of a bonus. If you take enough drugs, you become superhuman. Listen to me for more terrible life advice.
So Shannon, my podcast, my co-host is in here. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
And Dana's in here, who I'm going to be on with tomorrow. Do you know Dana from Gen XY?
No, I don't.
Ah, well, I'll be on her show tomorrow morning. Horribly early. Well, all right, not that early. It's early for her, not for me. She's all the way
Damn.
out there on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to the West Coast. The closest I've come is Vegas. I feel like if I go
Oh,
to California,
Vegas
I'm
is
not
nice.
coming back.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Vegas was fun.
Vegas is amazing. Like every time I get to go to AVN, I'm just so happy. It's like the world's biggest family reunion. Like me and 100,000 friends. It's amazing.
I went out there back when I was working for uh GameStop. We went out there for the managers convention. They had us out there, and that was pretty cool. And they had booth babes. I was just like, God damn it! Come on, it's a
So,
managers convention. You don't really need this, but they had it.
I mean, if it works, it works. I am going to be one of those people who's going to be honest. Like, I just realized I didn't smudge my eyeliner. There we go. Now it's a little bit more even.
There you go.
Um, the booth babe thing works because sex sells, and Lord knows that women are just as susceptible to it as men. If you do not believe this, watch what happens to male strippers on Cougar Night.
Yeah, but they never really had booth bros. It was always booth babes.
At porn conventions they have both, and oh my lord,
Oh
I
yeah,
was
I'm
there.
sure at a porn convention they do because it's porn, but this is video games.
See, I'm wondering when the gaming industry is going to get into booth bros because I would say about 1/3 of the gaming industry as a whole is gay.
Well, I mean, they kind of did away with it. I don't know, like they did away with it. I don't know when they did away with it, but it's been a while because so many women gamers were like, hey, we exist and we don't really want to see the bikinis. We're not really here for the bikinis. We want the good games and we don't really care about, the scantily clad women.
I
Most
was
of
there
us are
for the
not.
bikinis. I
But
was there for the bikinis. My vote matters too. Give me the bikinis.
but yeah, no, they got tired of it. They put up enough of a stink about it and they were like, okay, okay, fine. We'll sell games to women too. Gosh. Um, if we
It's
want to make
literally,
money, fine. We'll advertise to other people besides, guys in high school. Fine, whatever. And
speaking
then they
of
made a
guys
lot
in
more
high
money.
school,
What's that?
GTA 6. GTA 6 plus guys in high school. I am waiting for the high school boys to actually get their paws on that. My husband is 27, but a high schooler at heart, and Rockstar video games is always his thing. So I've been hearing the updates.
My God, I used to have to tell parents because they're like their 7-year-old would come up with a Grand Theft Auto. I used to work in Jackson
No.
Heights, and they didn't speak English. And their little kid would come up because they knew their mother would not know what the game was, and I'd be like, and I'd have to learn how to say it in Spanish that the game was filled with blood, death, and nudity, and they would be like, ¿Qué? What? And they were just like, no, because my Spanish is, I mean, I knew some, but man, I mean, I don't remember it anymore, but I learned how to say, prostitutes, murder,
Prostituta.
sex. And it was like, not for your little kid. And the kid would be so mad. Be like, shut up, man. I'm like, no, I'm not selling this to you because your mom don't speak English, you little bastard. Get out of here.
Like, as a millennial, we grew up with that, like, completely free reign, wild, wild west of the internet. And I'll be real with you, like, I didn't realize how much that warped me as a person until I got older. 'Cause, like, I was one of those weird teenagers 'cause, 1, I'm not cisgender, and 2, I'm also definitely not straight. And, I was looking up some really weird shit on the internet. I was like, "Wait a minute, girls can love girls? Wait a minute, guys can wear makeup? Wait a minute, girls can have guys who wear makeup and look like chicks in bed?" God bless my parents because I know that they had a couple of pop-ups with a lot of cross-dressing porn. They never said a word. They are fucking saints for that. I think that maybe that probably caused my mom a little bit of therapy bills, but you know what? That's part of parenting.
They
Um,
rolled with it.
I don't think she had a choice. But like, it's one of those things where you don't realize how much it affects you as a human being because a lot of the stuff that I saw on those adult sites I thought was normal.
Right.
So, and the thing is that like I see what's going on right now with like the teenage boys and that movie Adolescence. Like you've heard of it, I'm sure, where
I've heard of it, but I don't know the specifics.
I 100% suggest that you watch that as a father to two girls. I don't know if you have a son,
I
but
do, but he's very autistic, and sex is not going to be in the cards for him anytime ever.
um you need to watch that regardless because as a father of two girls, I watched that as a mom who saw myself as the parent of the victim and seeing like what's going on with the young boys. I started to see that in my generation. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out how to get my phone to be a little bit more stable and a little bit more up. There we go. That way you're not like looking to talk to a pair of boobs. Um,
Hey, some people are probably tuning in for that. It's okay.
I mean, I have a loyal fans and soon to be an OnlyFans for that. So if you need that, Oceana makes content. It's on loyal fans. I'm gonna be loading up some content pretty soon. Um, but when it comes to that stuff, like I saw the beginnings of the stuff that they talk about in adolescence, the incel stuff. I was actually in that sphere, the manosphere and red pill and
Oof.
pickup artist dating sphere as a professional in it when it first
Oof.
began. And here's the thing, like I saw how all of this shit changed. Like I didn't realize how much I internalized porn culture as a kid until pretty late in life. But I realized that at the very least, one, it helped me embrace my sexuality. It helped me embrace my body. It also helped me embrace the, believe it or not, like the bimbo side. It actually was a mix of hearing one of my guy friends be like, I'm not the type of person whose masculinity is threatened by a color. I was like, wait, then why is my masculinity threatened by a color? So I started wearing pink. Um, and also like actually talking to some models who work in the bimbo porn field. I was like, not only were these girls brilliant, but they were stylish and they were having fun doing this. And having that like moment really helped me heal a lot of my internal misogyny. You know what I mean? Because even feminists struggle with that.
Right.
But on the
Well, I
other
mean,
hand,
it's the air we breathe.
it's literally the air we breathe. That's correct. With With the men though, like I feel bad for them because like that whole movie Adolescence pointed it out. Men are constantly being told that they're hated. They're constantly being told that women don't like them for their personalities but for their money instead. And after a while, like even if you know objectively that that's not true, it will start eating at you.
Right.
And I think that's what's going on with a lot of young boys. And when I see all this content that they're internalizing, like statistically speaking, and socially speaking, porn is not the same as it was 30, 20 years ago. It got a lot more violent. It got a lot more misogynistic. Um, in the past, like you could actually have like porn taping after porn taping, and yes, you'd be having sex for 8 to 12 hours per shot. Both men and women would have to perform sexually for that long.
Right.
But, you know, you could ice your genitalia and you'd be good. The girl who had sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours is in the hospital.
Mm.
And it's getting worse because these girls are expecting to perform more and more and more. They're starting like there's this entire like movement in porn towards more and more violent porn fantasies because it sells better.
Right. The
And
choking and all that stuff.
yes, which I do enjoy being choked, but I'm also notorious for being extremely, extremely aggressive in that department to the point where bones have been broken before. Um, like, yeah, that's that's an issue I have. Um, but when I see these boys watching this porn, when I see these boys watching this like this kind of content and they're like under the age of 18, they've never had a relationship, there's no talk about healthy sexuality, there's no talk about dating, there's no, you know, romantic guy gets the girl messaging or anything like that where, you know, they actually like bond, they have like magical moments. These guys actually think that girls like being treated that way.
Right.
And these guys actually think it's normal to suddenly start throttling and choking a girl like as foreplay. Like
I mean, there's a couple of different things going on there, right? I mean, one, we as a society still, even now, do not talk to our kids about sex. We just don't.
correct.
And I mean, I don't talk I don't talk to my girls like in detail about sex, right? Because they would rather like throw themselves out a window. But I have talked to them several times. And I have like a Dungeons and Dragons group on Sundays. And it's my daughter and it's four of her friends, right? It's all teen girls.
Oh,
And
wow.
I've talked to them several times, just not in specific terms, but just in, vague terms. Like, listen, I know you're all 14, 15 years old. I know you watch porn. Don't bother telling me you don't. Right? Because they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. You're 15. You watch porn. Okay. I was watching porn when I was 10. You watch porn. Okay. And I've had discussion with one on ones. It's fantasy. It's all fantasy. That's the thing. Whatever you're watching, that's the thing. You really don't watch it and think that's what sex is supposed to be. When you watch a movie and you watch people running around with guns, do you actually think that's what it's supposed to be? No, of course not. You know that's not real. It's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you have to think of porn. Everything you watch, no one does that in real life. No one changes position every 2 minutes. No one stands in that particular pose. That's for a camera. So it looks good. So, because it's for you to watch. No one
Yeah,
actually has sex that way. That's what you have to think about. It's fantasy. And that's the thing
exactly.
that no one's telling these guys or and girls really, but it's not, it's no one's telling them that because parents still don't like talking to kids about sex, which is I mean, our generation didn't, your generation's parents didn't. Like I'm Gen X, right? I'm older than you. Like I'm old. You don't see the gray hairs, but they're there. But they
I'm
just
I'm old
don't do
too.
that.
I'm old too. I'm
Listen,
almost 40.
almost 40, she says.
I realize I don't
Almost
look it.
40.
I
I
realize I
have
don't look
pants
it.
older than you.
I'm almost old as pants.
But the other thing that you had brought up is that boys are getting all of this programming now, and it's this is what girls have been putting up with for forever.
Decades.
Right. Like girls always had, like, all the magazines and all the TV and all the commercials always told girls, you're not thin enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not this enough. And that was, I mean, guys kind of got something like that. You have to be, like, you have to be like Rambo. You have to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have to be more manly, but it wasn't the same kind of messaging. Now they're getting it much more direct and it's much more insidious. And it's real. I mean, there was, this is the kind of man you should be, but now it's much more, you're not
Horrible.
manly enough. It's much, much more intense. And it's the same level that girls used to get, except now girls are getting it much, much worse. Right? Social media makes it way fucking worse than what it used to be, right? Compared to like magazines.
I don't know because like as much as I've talked about like how much watching porn as a young person kind of like I internalized a lot of that, the worst messaging I've ever gotten was from magazines for
Really?
girls.
Even worse than social media? Well, I don't know. Like,
Um
well, I don't know. Like, I mean, you're almost 40. Like, you didn't go through high school with social media.
I didn't. I started getting into social media on like in college, but I was still in that cringy area where like one, I was literally under a cocktail of pills when I was in college. Like among other things. Like, that was like really bad time for me. So I was more of like the cringeworthy person posting stuff like how much I wanted to off myself and stuff like that. But like that was pretty much me. Nobody really interacted with me because of that. So I didn't really get that taste of it. But the magazines back in the day, they actually like I don't think women really acknowledge how much damage Cosmo magazine used to do to them. Like they would have
Oh,
magazines
definitely
about
not
how
at
to
the time. They didn't acknowledge it, but they will now. They look back and go, "Oh my god, this shit was fucking horrible, terrible."
yeah, yeah, like I accidentally put one of my exes into the doctor's office because I followed one of their sex tips.
Jesus.
Yeah, one of the sex
Oh,
tips
it's
was
not funny, but it's funny.
it's it's not funny, but it's funny. I was like, yeah, check this out. The sex tip accidentally told me how to give a guy an Indian rope burn on his dick.
Oh, yeah, I could pretty much think of what you were doing, and no.
And they're like, he's gonna go
Oh,
wild for this. I thought that he was howling in pleasure. He was not. Um,
oh,
Another one almost got a yeast infection because they told us to drizzle honey on it.
oh, how very Gwyneth Paltrow.
It was so bad, dude. It was so bad. The whole whipped cream thing that they did in the 90s too. You
Oh
end
my
up smelling
God.
like sour milk. But like the messaging that we would get from those magazines was, don't ever say no to your man, otherwise he'll dump you. If you cheat, let's talk about how you can politely bring it up. Or like if he
Wow.
cheats, let's talk about how you two can get over it as a couple. Or is he abusive, or is he just like pranking you or playing with you? And I was like, a lot of the stuff like that they were saying like guys trying to make fun of girls, that's still abuse, and we just like the magazines were just telling us, oh no, that just means he really likes you, honey.
Yeah. Oh, he's not pulling on his hair because he's mean. He's pulling on his hair because he likes you. That's just
Yeah,
boys being boys.
that or they'd tell people like the dumbest advice on like how to pick up what a guy's like in bed by like watching him eat an ice cream cone. And while you can tell a lot about how a person eats a meal, like if he's offering you bites, if he's actually like taking time to talk about the flavor, you can tell how sensual a guy is when he eats that way. Or like if he's sharing food, you can tell that he's going to be interested in your pleasure too. But watching a guy eat an ice cream cone and seeing if it drips on his hand, they're saying,
Probably
yeah,
not the best indication.
they're like, that shows that he's a sensual lover that's really into it. I'm like, no, that just means he's a freaking pig. Like, I genuinely want to know what those writers were on and if I can have some. But it was so damaging, and to a point I think that Cosmo of the 90s and the 2000s is the equivalent to a lot of the stuff that first starts pulling in guys into the incel movement and into the manosphere. Because when I was a pickup artist instructor back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, back when there was like still half good and half bad, the men who I met there, I'll be honest with you, they were adorable. They were sweet guys. All they were just a little bit socially awkward, and they just wanted a girlfriend. They wanted to show love to a girl. They wanted to impress a girl. They wanted to feel loved and respected. And some of them, like if they were not halfway across the country, I absolutely would have started going out with them. They were sweet guys. But and like my cohort at the time, Michael Chief, he's still doing the pickup artistry thing. He's still in a poly relationship. I think he's with two girls right now, maybe one, maybe two, but he used to have like three or four girlfriends at the same time. And he was the same as me. He was like, no, like let's talk about how you can get that genuine connection. The people who were raking it in were the ones who said, "No, you don't have to improve. Oh, don't worry. You know, these women, like, if you just berate them a little bit more, you can hurt them,
Oh,
keep them keen,
negging.
play them mean."
Uh,
That kind of stuff. And I
it's
watched,
not you, it's them.
and sometimes, you know what? Sometimes it is them, but most of the time, the same pickup artists who are raking it in, who are telling them, no, you don't have to improve yourself. Use these mean tricks instead. I watched some of the sweetest, kindest, like most socially awkward guys who honestly in another lifetime would be happily married with kids, probably would be the pick of the litter in their community by now. I watched them become bitter, hateful, horrible people that I couldn't even recognize. And it was probably one of the most heartbreaking things I've seen. And I'm seeing that on a grand scale now. Because these guys are getting the more extreme version of the porn messaging that I grew up with, plus Cosmo for men, plus this like jet fuel of hatred propaganda that they're getting. And I'm just saying, I'm like, if I was a boy and if I grew up like, 2010 as a kid, I would be
Right.
completely cooked. I'll be honest with you. I would have been completely cooked. I would have been complete disaster as a human being. So like as parents, we owe it to them to have those discussions where we're like, "Hey, I know you're watching porn. Let's talk a little bit about how to actually talk to girls or talk to boys. Even if you see this stuff, like it is a movie. Like, like I'd say, there's porn of people, coming unicorns and rainbows or whatever. But jizz is not rainbow colored, is it? It's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's what kind of makes me sad about well, not one of the things, but about Jordan being autistic is like on the one hand, I don't have to worry about him getting sucked into this. He's never I mean, he still watches Yo Gabba Gabba and other kid like he still watches the whatchamacallit, the oh my god, the Imagination Movers is still like one of his favorite shows, right? So he's never gonna watch Joe Rogan, right? He's never gonna get into that. He's never gonna get sucked into the manosphere because he's never going to grow up in that way. He's Peter Pan, right? No matter how old he gets, he's still going to be watching little kids show and little kids cartoons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So he's safe from that. But on the other hand, I'm never going to find out, would I have been able to shield him from that? Would I have been able to teach him as a father not to be that way? So I guess on one hand, I don't have to worry about it. On the other hand, I never get to find out, would I have been able to do that? So,
well, that's one of the reasons why I'm always like super happy to see guys who are in the feminist sphere who read my stuff, who actually talk about like how they try to talk to other men and stuff like that. Or when I see like the guys on Reddit's men's lib just talking
mhm,
about like what's going on, how they feel, how they want men to be more vulnerable with each other, how they want to see men bond over healthy things. Like when I see that, I don't think that men understand how much I appreciate that. And I know I'm not alone in that. Like when we
right.
see guys actually being like, "Hey bro, give it in, give it a hug. It's okay. It's going to be all right." Followed by something like, "Listen, man, you can't treat a woman that way, but hey, let's talk about it. Let's get that anger out." Whenever I see a guy do that kind of like move with another guy, I sit there and I'm like, that man is my hero. Every time that you do something like that, every time that you write something about women's rights, that's my indication that even if it's not your child, you're helping prevent that kind of thought.
Oh, that's the goal. That's what I'm working for. That's what I'm trying.
That's all anybody can ever do. Try. So you're doing as best you can.
And so are you. That's
Thank
why I
you.
like reading articles. I keep passing them on to my girls.
Question. I just noticed that there's some beads on the back of your puppet's head. What is that?
Um, that is my
Oh.
hair. That's the hair that Anastasia put on there because I do have some left. So
Aw.
that's what she tried to do my peach fuzz.
Right now, my cats are walking around and they currently do not have dresses. I was actually like doing my makeup and I checked the time and I was like, crap, it's 12:58. So I was not able to put them in dresses. But we do have a bit on our bed. Hi.
Aw, kitty,
Hmm. This is the ultimate ham. Hi, Blitzo. He needs to be on
Blitzo.
camera. Mm-hmm. He needs to be
Hell
on
of a
camera,
boss.
otherwise he starts screaming. Yeah. So this is his little star moment. You gonna be good now? Okay. Cool. Good boy.
Yeah,
So,
Chim Chim's camera shy right now. Half the time he walks by when I'm doing something, but today I guess he decided not to.
you got a cat?
I got two cats. Sandy is the one who's generally she only waits until I'm laying in bed and then she's like, "Oh my god, you're laying in bed," and she throws herself on me. Chim Chim is the one that anytime my legs are crossed, he's on my lap.
That is amazing. Yo, I just realized like how far our conversation got diverted, but I want to go back to the White House craziness because like I was thinking about the whole toxic masculinity and Elon Musk thing. Can we please talk about how Elon got punched in the face by somebody?
Oh, but it was his kid. He said his kid. It was his little kid. It's like, I'm sorry, unless it was his one of his teenage kids. Like he said it was like his little one, like whatever, it was a 5-year-old. It's like, I'm sorry. I've been smashed in the face by my kid, by Jordan, because by accident. And Jordan has a really big head. So when he was little, he like, his head was super wobbly. I've been smashed in the face by his head, and he did not bruise me like that. So bullshit. I call absolute bullshit. Somebody
Same.
punched him one. Either that or he passed out and smashed his head on something because he was overdosing on Ket. So whatever.
I mean, ooh, when you said that, I just wanted to say something and I realized I could get banned. Um, I think everybody knows what I wanted to say, so I'm not gonna say it. But when it comes to Elon, like I can tell the dude got biffed in the face. I know that somebody punched him, and I know that Trump hates him, and I love that it actually got live because the president's buddy in chief. Like, first off, nobody voted in that fucker.
Absolutely
No,
not.
no one voted him in. And why does the president need a buddy? Could you imagine if a Democrat did that?
I know we can't have a co-president. And if a Democrat had a co-president, my God, Republicans would be burning the White House to the ground. They would burn Washington to the ground. It's like, oh, he's unelected. Oh, blah, 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 tyranny.
But now it's the president's best buddy. And all of a sudden, the best buddy is no longer working in the White House. And like, there are news headlines about how much he feels like everybody hates him. Yeah. Must have been Miller since his wife
Oh,
left to work for Muskrat. I want to admit that I really hope it is Miller, but I don't think that Miller has a strong enough wrist to actually land a punch on anything.
well, I mean, he did run off with his wife. Must did run off with his wife. So maybe he's sad about that.
Can Miller actually have emotions, though? I feel like all he ever did as a kid was eat glue and stare at walls.
I don't know. I mean, he does seem to feel hate. That's like
Yeah.
his one functioning emotion is hate and rage.
Yes, like it is that lizard brain type vibe that I get from him. But I honestly don't know if he actually can feel like regular emotions per se.
I
Yes,
mean,
they
they're
are
all
all
psychopaths, so probably not.
Yes, the best buddy is now trashing Trump. Apparently, Musk is now somehow acting on the good side because he's now telling Republicans to call their senators so that they can vote no on the bill just because he wants to sabotage Trump.
Well, Shannon and I were discussing this on the podcast earlier today. There's a couple of things going on. The bill kills the tax credits for EVs, right? So that screws him and his Teslas, and
Mm.
he's already having a lot of trouble because he pissed off his base. The people who buy Teslas are us, right? And we all hate him now.
Yep.
And so while Magaland loves him, they're not going out to go buy Teslas because Teslas aren't manly. EVs aren't manly. We don't buy EVs. So he didn't replace us with them when it comes to his customer base. So he still needs those Teslas to be affordable. And if they get more expensive and he drove away a bunch of his customers, well, that's a huge problem for him. Tesla's his main bread and butter. He needs Tesla to be, you know, a really successful company. Otherwise, everything else around him falls apart. Like all his other companies are
Mm-hmm.
leveraged off of Tesla. That's a thing for him. Tesla goes, the rest of it goes with it. Whoops.
Yep.
Um, they
And
also, and this was a big one. This was a big one that me and Shannon talked about. They took away, like he tried to force the FAA to replace everything with Starlink. Like he was going to try to run all of air traffic from Starlink, which would
that's
have
going to be
been,
bad.
well, it would have been catastrophic because it wouldn't have worked. And someone, I don't know who, I'm sure we'll find out eventually, killed it and said, that's not happening. We're not doing that. Thank Christ. That's not happening.
Well, yeah, somebody had at least half a brain and realized that if Musk gets his way with the FAA, there's going to be a lot more plane crashes.
Yeah.
We've already
And,
seen what happened in Newark, and that's like right down the
exactly.
street from me.
Yeah,
Um,
I said it was just because they wanted to screw Musk, but Shannon also pointed out they all fly airplanes. you know, you don't want to put your life in the hands of Elon Musk and his incompetent people when you get on airplanes all the time. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good point. You have to, they all have to fly out to DC all the time, constantly. You don't want your plane falling out of the sky because Elon Musk is a moron. So yeah, they killed that idea. And that cost him billions. So he's mad. He real mad. So yeah, fuck him. And now he's fucking Republican. So yay. I love Republican on Republican violence.
Honestly, it's amazing watching this because it's like watching a snake eat itself and then get angry at itself. They might they might not care about us, but watching them like completely annihilate one another is just I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I told you guys, fascism has a way of destroying itself. Fascism can only last for a certain window of time before it collapses.
Yep, circular firing squad.
It quite literally is. And watching like this Musk catastrophe is so I don't know, like it's so gratifying to me because like you can tell that
Republican Fight Club. Yes, yeah, definitely, Karen. Definitely Republican Fight Club.
yeah,
Sorry.
because like you can tell that Musk actually thought that when he would go into the White House, destroy everything, everybody would like applaud him because he's owning the libs, and that everybody
Yep.
would love him, and that this, that, and the other. And instead, it happened the exact opposite way, and everybody kind of hates him now, including his own party.
Oh.
And like like there are news articles about him bursting into tears about this. And yeah,
Wait.
like
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I've got
mm,
one little tiny tear right here. There we
oh,
go.
oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there we go. There we go. Got that little tiny tear. There, much better.
World's tiniest violin, played by like the tip of my claw. Like he really thought that like just flashing all this money and power and destroying people's lives would actually make people like him. I've never seen a 50-year-old man have such a narcissistic collapse.
No, isn't it awesome?
It's beautiful. Like it
I
couldn't
I, I
happen
I
to
go
a
to
better
sleep
guy.
at night. I go to sleep at night like content in the understanding that between his mental breakdown and the fact that he does so much drugs, even though he's my age, there's a good chance he's almost definitely gonna die before me, and I love that for him.
Yeah, I feel like Satan's trying to delay it though, because he doesn't want to be like stuck with him. You know what I mean?
Right? It's like, oh God, I'm gonna have to put up with him when he gets down here. It's gonna be bad enough when I get Trump. I'm gonna have this schmuck too.
Exactly. Like, and the funniest part about this is while we're talking about like the way that Republicans age, can we please talk about what's Laura Loomer?
Oh my God,
That
yes. Ugh.
like High Life in the Upside Down, Viva la Resistance. Now, this is now here's what I'm getting really kind of curious about with this Laura Loomer. And like I very rarely trash people's appearances because I feel like that's kind of messed up. Yes, they are all petulant children, but I found out that Laura Loomer and I are the same age.
Well, she's had a lot of really bad, I was going to say special effects, a lot of really bad plastic surgery.
I know it's the Mar-a-Lago facelift, but come on, dude. Like, even without that, she looks like she opened the Ark of the Covenant. Yes. Yes, she used to be really cute. There was a couple of other ones that were like that too. Um, there was a blonde one that was like really cute, and then like she started looking worse and worse and worse after a while. There was yeah, like I've noticed this with white nationalist influencers. Oh, we have another visitor. I was about to show off my cotton candy stash, but hi Monty. Hi.
Another kitty.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I honestly do believe that hate ages people.
Oh
because
yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, wait,
like,
hold on. How old is Kellyanne Conway? Isn't she's not that old?
do you mean the Crypt Keeper?
Yeah, she is. Hold on, Kellyanne Conway, blah 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 blah. Yeah, she's only 58.
She's she
She
looks really not good for that age.
no, she does not. She's only a few years older than my wife, and my wife does not look that way at all. Like
Yeah, like
she's 5 years older than me. And but all right, granted, I look quite good for an ogre. But I mean, I don't look anywhere near it's like that. It's like, wow, that's wow, wow. It's impressive.
I've started to use cotton candy as kind of like a shtick whenever I do that. Well, yeah, I am in my 30s. I'm 37, but like I'm in my late 30s, so I'll take that.
Shannon, my podcast host, has turned 40 and she hates that. She just turned 40 and I keep telling her she's middle aged now. And she gets really, really mad at me. Hi, Shannon. You're 40. You're old.
Yes, they don't believe in actual sunscreen, and unlike me, they don't have the whole vampire thing going on, so they can't just stay out of the sun. Like this is as close to like natural daylight as I come in a regular day.
That's it.
Yep.
You prefer to be translucent and glow in the dark?
I mean, I don't really have a choice. I'm allergic to daylight.
Oh, see, that would do it.
Yeah. No, like I'll go occasionally for like a quick walk in a park or something like that, just for like photos. And every time I get like a photo out in like direct sunlight, it literally looks like I'm reflecting. I love you, Patty. No, like I love that you're like you don't look like you're in your 40s or in your 30s, and you're like you don't. Okay, you don't look in your 30s either. I'm like, it's okay. I look at like I'm in my Ossiana age.
See, there you go. Eternal.
Hmm. I've actually had photographers complain because I was so pale that it was messing with their camera.
Too much reflection. Woo!
Yep, quite literally. I'm like, just to give you a heads up, I can be my own reflector.
We tease Anastasia occasionally. Like, all right, so I'm half Puerto Rican, so you know, I'm not super light, but I'm not super dark either, right? I'm just kind of like, neutral. But she ended up being really, really pale for some reason. So we tease her about that occasionally, and she gets annoyed. Whereas Lila's not my bio daughter, right? She's just kind of like my semi-adopted daughter. She's half Egyptian, and when she goes and gets a tan, she gets really, really dark. So I put her next to Anastasia, and it's just like you're like a black and white cookie here. And Anastasia's just like rah, 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 rah. It's very funny.
So my husband's half Puerto Rican too, but like
Woo!
the Puerto Rican side of his family is like dark. So like he came out brown, and I warned you that Blitz would start screaming if he's not on camera. Hi, mister.
Oh, good
You
lord!
pet today?
Pay attention to
Hi.
me! Pay
Are you
attention
done?
to me!
Did you see that?
Yes.
He literally will like throw himself on the stairs and start screaming. He's the bigger diva than me. I didn't even think that was possible. And oh, here we go again. Blitzo. Blitzo, are you done? The Sultan
Well,
of
he is
Sulk
he is
himself.
accurately named.
Yeah. Mr. Sultan of Sulk. Look at that. Yeah, are you good now? Are you good? Good boy. Attaboy. Um,
So
but
half a Rican.
half Puerto Rican, half Italian. And right now, until we can afford to move out on our own, We're currently living with some people, and it is in a very it's in a very racist type of area, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy.
So like the thing is that like they this area knows me for a long time, so they know me, they know a lot of my friends, and they first saw me and my husband going into one of the grocery stores. And like there's like multiple like mini shops around here. And my husband's half Italian. So they were like kind of giving him the side eye. They're like, "Who's this guy? Who's this guy?" They were kind of like following us around. I go, "Oh, by the way, this is my husband. He's Sicilian." All of a sudden, "Oh my God, I am so sorry to hear that." My bad. "Oh, did you see our newest pasta sauces? Perfect, delicious, lots of garlic, lots of onion. You're gonna love this." And then they immediately like the demeanor changes so fast.
My God.
It's like night and day, and I'm just like, "My bro." I'm
Well,
probably gonna get him like for racists getting like an Italian necklace or like some stuff saying Italia. That usually is enough to get people an understanding that you might actually be Italian at the Jersey Shore. And I'll literally just be like, "Yeah, he just loves to tan. You gotta understand, he's a Guido. Jim Tan Laundry. He's white."
yeah, there you go. Yeah, we grew up in an Italian neighborhood. We were Puerto Rican Jews, and for whatever reason, I came out generic looking white, but my brother came out Italian looking, which is really, really funny. Like the combination of the darker skin and the Jewish nose makes him look Italian, like really Italian. So he fitted great. And they didn't really bust our chops too much, but man, that neighborhood was working class Italians, and holy shit, this was back in the late 70s, early 80s, and super fucking racist, super 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 fucking racist. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, as
That
soon
was
as
that was
soon
up
as they
in
hear
Brooklyn.
as soon as they hear the whatchamacallit, the last name, they're like, "Oh, you're Italian." But like if we go around like Patterson and stuff like that where they have the Middle Eastern shops, um we end up like having the Middle Easterners assume that my husband's Middle Eastern. So all of a
Well,
sudden
everyone hears
it's
what they want to hear.
yeah. So like up in Patterson and up in North Jersey, you get a lot of the Latinos and the Arabs like going, "Hey, fellow, what are you?" It's just fun
It's
to
like,
watch
yeah,
because
just a thing.
it's like, are you Spanish? Are you Middle Eastern? Are we buddies now? What's going on? And I'm like, "You both can be friends. It's okay." For real though, like Patterson though, they have the best Middle Eastern food ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know if you like shawarma or like halal food, but I go there religiously whenever I'm making my Middle Eastern curries, my stuffed grape leaves. The hookah stores are incredible too.
I'll ask to have Claudia about that. Claudia's from New Jersey. Like I was in New York, she was from New Jersey. We both ended up here. I tease her about that constantly because you know how it is. New Yorkers in New Jersey. It's just like New Jersey. But she's she was literally married to an Egyptian, so she knows all that food and she loves all that food. I'll have to ask her about that if she's familiar with Patterson. I'm trying to remember where she lived. She told me, and I don't know New Jersey well enough to remember. I drive through it on my way to get to New York, but I don't know it that well. The only thing I know
So
about New Jersey is every time I leave New York to go to New Jersey, I know I'm New Jersey when it starts to smell.
so you're in Staten Island.
Oh yeah, well you know what? Everyone who actually lives in New York says the same thing about Staten Island. We all hate everyone from New York City. We all hate Staten Island, except people from Staten Island who hate the rest of us. So
Wait a minute, did I guess right?
no, I'm actually from Brooklyn and then Queens.
Mm,
Staten Island's just a giant landfill, which also smells.
but they have amazing plastic surgeons there.
You know
And
what? I think I've heard that before, but why? Why is that?
so I don't know why that is, but I do know on the DL that a lot of celebrities live in Staten Island. Like a lot.
That would probably
Like
do it.
I forget if it's Long Island or Staten Island, but Lindsay Lohan, she has a house in Merrick with Dina Lohan and the rest of the Lohan family. Um let's see, there's a couple of people like one of my friends, Vinny the Guido. He's I think he's in Long Island or Staten Island, and he works in the professional wrestling circuit, and he knows a lot of people on both islands who just have houses there. So it makes sense that a lot of the celebs would do like a one-stop shop type of thing. That and
Hey,
it's like
whatever
really
works.
discounted there.
Staten Island. Uh, uh. Don't even get me started. That's like
I think
that's like
even
the redheaded stepchild of the boroughs.
yeah. And Jersey's kind of like that weird cousin who wants to be in the main family, but is treated more like the stepchild. And the stepchild is like, and everybody's like, wait, Staten Island, why are you even here?
Yeah, pretty much. We were always so mean to people from Staten Island. There wasn't really a good reason for it. We just were.
To be fair, that's the only place I still see Guido culture alive and well in full force. Like,
I can imagine that. I mean, it was
I
I grew up around that in Brooklyn, but my neighborhood was completely changed by the time I left in like the late '80s. So yeah, I can definitely imagine that.
well, I mean, now in Queens, you still got a couple of Guidos, but it's more Eastern European now.
Yeah, depends on where you go. I haven't been
You
like
guys,
every time we go back to Queens, it's we only pass through on the way up to visit my wife's parents. They live up in the Yonkers.
yeah, I got family somewhere around Pelham myself, so I get it.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we go.
It's a good
It's nice
area,
up
but
there.
like, yeah, but yeah, with Queens, you guys have one of the only actual Romanian restaurants in the country.
Really?
Yes, and my mom will never let me forget it. If you go to Queens, you hear Manele. It's very good music. Sure, mom. I can't stand that
Well,
music.
as long
I'm
as you don't
sorry.
bump into Andrew Tate there.
I hate that guy so much. Like,
He's that motherfucker's going to jail. I'm very excited about that.
yo, can I just say that Andrew Tate made a lot of men make a huge mistake? He keeps talking about how submissive Eastern European women are.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no. No, sweetie. No, we're not. We're scary. We're psychotic motherfuckers.
Oh God. Yeah, well, he's definitely a big old chunk of the manosphere. So, getting him off of the out of the way and in jail for like the next 20 or 30 years would be very, very good for everyone.
Yo, can I just talk about what happened with one of my guy friends? One of my guy friends, he married a woman from Uzbekistan, which is, it's basically part of Russia. And he was like, yeah, my wife is Eastern European. She's really gorgeous. And a lot of these manosphere guys were like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a submissive woman. She's gonna do whatever you ask her to. Um, I warned him. I was like, dude, I really don't think that this girl is right for you because I like if you know the culture, you know the warning signs of somebody who's really bad from that culture.
Right?
I warned him. I was like, dude, I really don't think that this is a good girl for you. And I was like warning. I was like, she's acting demure now for a reason, and you don't want that type of girl. You want the angry, loud Eastern European. You don't want the quiet one. The quiet one is going to be the one that scares you. And he's like, no, no, no. She's just really sweet. He didn't listen. I love my friend. He's not the manosphere type. He wasn't looking for a submissive wife, but he honestly, a lot of people were getting in his ear and they're like, no, no, no. Like, Eastern European women, they treat their men nicely. And a lot of them do. I mean, look at me and my husband. Not only does my husband have me cooking him home cooked meals, he can also have a girlfriend whenever he wants. But like, this girl was not it. And about 2 months into their marriage, my guy friend shows up at my door and he was like, "Get her away from me, please."
Damn.
So we actually had to hide him. We got him in contact with like a domestic violence center, and he's now divorced from her. Thank God, he's good now. But every single time I hear a guy being like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a sweet like Eastern European woman. She's gonna be so nice and demure," I'm like, "Okay, buddy,
All
you
right, good
do
luck with
that."
that.
I just like look at my watch and I'm like, "Okay, let's put on the timer. How many months is this gonna last, or how many bank accounts is this gonna last?" Next thing you know, like the guy's sitting there, he's like, "She divorced me and took all my money. Whatever happened wrong?"
It's like, well, that's what you get for trying to marry someone just for their submissiveness.
Yo, like a friend of mine, she's Filipina.
Mhm.
She said that they call them LBHs in the Philippines. Losers back home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
Like,
if you want to set yourself up for that, go for it.
yeah. She actually married an American and like that's not how she came here. But like she actually loves her husband and it's amazing. They have one of the healthiest relationships I've ever seen. But a lot of people assume things about her and her husband because of all the manosphere stuff, which gets me heated. Cause it's like just because somebody came from a bridal country doesn't mean that that's what it is, you know?
Right.
And like that's kind of like that's what happens with my mom a lot because back in the day you could not leave Romania without marrying out. And she actually didn't want to leave the country that she was in. She had it very good in Romania. Our family's very well known back there. And like she was working at the embassy, she was working with diplomats, she was working like very close to like the inner cadre of Nicolae Ceausescu.
Mhm.
So she had it good there. My dad saw her, he fell instantly in love with her. He proposed after 4 weeks. They got married and their marriage lasted for 37 years. And my mom loved the ever living fuck out of my dad till the day
Nice.
he died. But people have made that assumption about her. And ooh, when they make that assumption, the passport bro thing ruined so many people's like reputations for no reason. That I guess that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. They manage to destroy their own lives and they also make everyone else around them look bad even though they're not even associated with the movement. You know what I mean? Besides, if they wanted to have a girl who would just use them for their money and dump them, they could just do that here. They could, save money.
Well, that that
Anywho,
is that is the light of the manosphere. They fuck up everything.
except themselves. I mean, they do fuck up themselves, but they don't actually get fucked.
Oh,
Speaking
I'm
speaking
sorry.
of toxic masculinity, before we hop off, I need to give you a little bit of an inside joke that happened on nextdoor.com. So you know how I have this one cat, Monty, who is a bit of a diva. Monty, look up here. Good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. He loves the color pink. This cat is obsessed with pink. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but every time that you see him, he's always near something pink.
Huh.
Um, his favorite thing to do is to get dressed up in a pink dress and have me brush him.
Aw.
I posted a video of that, and in the video I say, "Good boy, Monty." One of the guys was so fragile in his masculinity that he goes, "Why is that male cat in a pink dress?"
Jesus Christ.
I was
It's a
like,
fucking cat.
I said, "Because my cat is fabulous and he loves pink." Any other questions?
That it's a cat. It's
It's a cat
it's a
owned
fucking cat.
owned by a person who looks female. What would you expect? You would think that that would actually be like a guy going, "Oh, look, it's a woman performing femininity. I must approve because I am a man."
Jesus Christ. I mean, who cares? Like, what difference is it? Oh, no, you're going to make that cat gay.
Well, first it was the frogs and then it was the cats, very clearly.
We're going to turn the frogs gay. Oh, it's in the
And
water.
then
It
the
turns the frogs
cats.
gay.
Oh, I'm
Now the
sorry,
cat.
Monty. No, 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 it's okay, baby. He gave me like the most concerned look.
I mean,
Yeah,
look
it's
at that.
okay.
Look at that. Look at that pink bow around his neck. Oh, my God. That's okay. Oh, wait. I don't know if I can handle all this gayness. I need to wave my
Monty.
pride flag now.
Right? Oh, look at that baby boy. There we go, Monty. Look at your adoring fans. There we go. Yeah, he gets so nervous on camera, which is funny because he loves to strut in his dress, but yeah, one of his many dresses, little pink bow.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That's just scandalous. Scandalous, I say. Scandalous.
Scandalous, right? Cross-dressing cats. What has the world come up to?
See,
Anywho,
that's just wokeness. Wokeness out of control.
I've been attacked by the woke virus. Oh no,
The
guys,
woke
this is
mind virus
bad.
got you. Elon Musk
Mm,
can't be your friend anymore.
The woke virus got me. Oh no, I suddenly care about other people. Oh no, I feel about human rights. Oh my god. I'm developing empathy.
Oh, you're gonna have to tear that out by the roots.
Oh, absolutely. We can't have people caring about people.
That
Otherwise,
sounds.
I don't know. The- I suddenly yearn for a community of people who love each other and respect each other's boundaries.
Oh my God, that sounds awful. It sounds just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. And you know what? Just go to a right wing church and they'll take care of right. They'll just knock that right out of you.
You know how baby Jesus said, love thy neighbor as long as they make over six figures, are white, and have a clean cut appearance. It's exactly what Jesus
See,
said.
there you go, Republican
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Supply side Jesus. Yo, this was awesome. We should do this again sometime.
We absolutely should. We should definitely have you come on the Opinionated Ogre podcast with me and Chad, and we can chat it up.
Sounds good. If you're still in the tri-state, I know that my husband has an outlaw that he's helping DJ at. So we'll probably be there sometime soonish.
Well, I'm down in Virginia now.
Oh, yeah, that might be a little bit too far for me.
Yeah, no, bit out of the way, but we'll get you on at some point.
Sounds good. All right, I'll
All
talk to you
right,
later.
thank you for having me on.
Bye.
Bye.